Hey everyone. Hi Ian.
Hi.
You got a little thing on your head there. Welcome, a pink thing. Welcome to the Complete Unnecessary Podcast for Tuesday.
A pink thing?
You got a little pink thread on your head.
Oh.
For Tuesday, January 19th, 2021.
It can stay there forever.
It's there. Alongside Ian Ferguson on Back Country. I'm going to get it for you?
Yeah.
Here you go. It was big. On the show today, we'll be talking about pump and dumping GameStop stock.
Pump and dumping.
New York Times concerned about parenting and gaming during the pandemic. Talk about a couple limited run stories. And we'll do a Q&A and a Patreon poll topic as well. Ian, how was your weekend? I had a kind of full weekend. I just can't remember anything specifically until I piece it all together. It's like lost.
My weekend feels strange. I ended up working at the Chula Vista location on Saturday, which I never do because my coworker got food poisoning. And then Sunday was really busy. And then what did I do yesterday? I don't know. I actually went grocery shopping. I went grocery shopping at the Japanese market. Got stuff to make stocks and soups and things like that. That's pretty much it. I started playing that new Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. It's that puzzle game that mixes Tetris and Puyo Puyo together, and I'm awful at it. It's fun, but I can't play that shit online. I'm not good.
I played Paperboy 64, finished it up, and wrote a review for a certain upcoming guidebook. And I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. I dread it. I usually look at before I do these reviews. Obviously, I read some background on the games. I usually just do a quick glance at the gameplay video, just get a look for how it looks, and then how long that long play video is.
Sure.
Oh, is it 7 hours long? I'm in trouble. Like, when I went back and replayed Quake, I was like, oh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be longer than I thought to replay Quake, and a lot tougher it was, too. But, no, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. The humor was on point on the game, even though the graphics are so rudimentary. The polygons are just like, I mean like almost beyond. It's like one level above stick figures. The polygons.
Yeah,
but they're cute.
I loaded up a screenshot to take a look just because it's been a while since I played it.
Been a while.
And those are just about stick figures.
But you look at like how the Bigfoot's designed in the game and some of the animals and the creatures. Okay, there is a style to it. It's not just slapdash. So.
No, there's something there.
There's something there. So and then I watched a lot of Netflix stuff. I've been off the Netflix swing, and now I'm watching more with the world going to hell, a lot more CNN and cable news shit than I ever thought before, which isn't good either to watch a lot of that to make sure the world isn't falling apart.
I avoid it. I try.
Plus it helps my predicted gambling markets as well. Some of the news, it's like research, but now they add a lot of classic movies they've added to Netflix. So I rewatched for the first time. I hadn't watched it front to back in forever. Goodfellas, the Scorsese classic, which is 30 years old, 1990. And wow, and I don't say it's better than I remember. There's a reason why people love that movie. It's not a better film in terms of mobster movies. It's not a better quality movie than Godfather, but it's a more entertaining movie than Godfather. It goes by so quickly. It's like 2 hours, 20 minutes, but it goes by so quickly, and so much stuff happens.
2 hours, 20 minutes to me sounds short for a mob movie. That's actually kind of appealing. But I almost want to watch it because of that. They're always like 3 to 4 hour long fucking plotting master.
Well, The Irishman is like 4 hours long.
Yeah,
it's a good movie, Irishman, but it's like super long to watch. It's like spans decades. No, this spans decades too, but it's so quick. The movie's more like Goodfellas. If you haven't seen it out there, you're nuts. But it's more like vignettes versus one plot narrative that weaves through. It's just like a series of vignettes. There's not really an overarching overall plot. It's more about just Henry Hill and his ups and downs and decline basically, and what happens with him. But obviously, it's Scorsese. It's brilliantly directed. Watch it if you have not. Now it's on Netflix. There's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse at all, and it's so quotable, that movie. It's nuts. I think people quote Goodfellas without realizing it's from Goodfellas at this point. And yes, it is the famous Joe Pesci madman role, which he was nominated for. I don't know if he won or not. I don't know off the top of my head if he won, but it's his performance is frightening. How psychotic it is. You forget just how psychotic it is. And the other characters are like looking at him like, holy shit, this guy's nuts. And then these are all based on real people too. That's the other thing. Like these are all based on real people. So there were people like this stuff kind of happened. According to some Henry Hill, who I think died a few years ago. Finally, he might have embellished some stuff, but for the most part, a lot of this stuff happened. These mobsters were killed off. There's the two heists in the movie did happen in real life. In Jersey, so like this stuff did happen.
What do you think portrays its source material more accurately, Bloodsport or Goodfellas?
Goodfellas for sure.
Okay,
because we know these people got killed, and some of these people, and these heists happened. Was it New Jersey? Was it Newark Airport or LaGuardia? Or I think it was Newark Airport. But anyway, it all takes place around New York City and northern Jersey. Goodfellas stuff, and of course De Niro's brilliant in it. Everyone's brilliant in the movie. Leota's brilliant in it. And now he's just fucking hawking cigarette, anti-cigarette, like nicotine drugs or whatever.
Is that what Leota's doing?
Yeah, that's what Leota's been doing. Xantag, not Ciantix or something. People were making fun of the commercial a few years ago because he looked so out of it in the commercials. He looked like he was drugged in the commercials. Remember that a few years ago? Chantix, is that the one? He looks terrible in these commercials.
Actor Ray Liotta says that thanks to Chantix, he was able to quit smoking.
Yes. But Ray Liotta's a great actor as well. And then I watched the Night Stalker crime doc series on Netflix, which was new. And I've been getting into these crime doc series the past year. I never was into these before, but they're extremely fascinating. This one was great because it followed the two detectives and their path and journey through, which these usually don't do. So it's from their perspective what was happening and how they investigated and their thought. So I'm like, this is shit I wanted to do. Like as a kid, basically. Like this gets to another topic where I wanted to be an FBI agent when I was 6 years old. I had the drawing of my parents still. That's what I wanted to do. So like this is like fascinating, this criminology stuff, and them talking about why they brought up the theories they did, why they connected these different events to each other. Why this one detective saw, well, there's not to get into too much horrific details of Richard Ramirez, this piece of shit, but his crimes were almost totally random. That's why they had a hard time pinning him down at the start until the evidence started to come in, physical evidence. Okay, we think it's the same guy, but it was not like any other serial killer that I'd ever thought of or seen. It made no sense, the crimes. And plus they were kind of different too. There was no connection to who he targeted as well. So that's why they're like, it was almost not a miracle that they started to piece together, but the physical evidence, it really tied into like, this is like really good police working. And this documentary showed it to the, nose to the grindstone sort of stuff, but then getting stonewalled by the LAPD. And then there was the couple times, which always happens with these serial killers where, wow, we almost had him and we wish he did, because then he went up and killed 5 more people. Like there was like 2 we almost got him moments that happened where the fucking LAPD fucked up like twice and prevented evidence from getting over, or weird shit happened where I was like, you gotta be kidding me that this stuff happened. And there's a couple of weird coincidences that happened as well, where crimes happened near where one of the detectives was, or people they knew. So yeah, it sounded like LA was a fucking horrible place to be in '85 with this shit going on. Like the whole city was obviously feared for their lives because it was happening. And sometimes this guy was doing 2 crimes a night, not just one. Like he was nuts. Like, okay, I killed a couple people, I'm gonna go somewhere else now and do something else, like in the same night. Like that never happens with serial killers doing shit like that.
Right.
This guy just couldn't control himself. So check it out. It's Night Stalker on Netflix. That's my little.
I probably will end up watching that this week.
Super entertaining. Like super. I mean, these are all well done.
I recently watched their 4-episode. Netflix had a 4-episode doc on the Ripper murders in the UK in the late 70s into the early 80s, and that one was
I saw that one too.
That one was really interesting.
I saw that one too. Yeah, that's why I want. Yeah, Looking back at me wanting to be an FBI agent, boy, do I wish I was one right now with things going on. If Twitter could charge me $5 per FBI search in the search bar, I'd pay it to see them rounding up all these fucking assholes throughout the U.S.
They got they got the guy who was like literally on camera. He said they can't arrest everyone.
Oh no, they can. It's just gonna take some time.
Nevertheless, you've been arrested.
They absolutely can arrest everyone. They know who you are.
Yep.
And they arrested that fuck with the Confederate flag. They got him.
Yeah, him and his kid.
And now they're trying to find that. Oh no, she turned herself off. The woman that was directing everyone. She's like, "Go upstairs!" And they got her. She turned herself.
Yeah, she deleted all of her fucking social media and shit. She went on the lam. And
the FBI's gonna fucking find you. This isn't the '70s. You leave a trail, a digital trail. It's kind of hard. It's a lot harder to go on the lam in 2020, 2021. It's a little bit harder. So yeah, that's where I wanted to fucking put on my FBI fucking spring jacket with the letters and find these people and drag them out of their fucking houses. And they're crying. Like that fucking one woman in Texas, the realtor, the blonde.
Oh, yeah, I saw her.
Yeah. Good idea at the time, huh, folks? It's a great idea at the time to do that.
Yeah, let's document ourselves because we truly think we're going to be seen as heroes. No. These pictures will be in history books for not the reason you want them to be in there.
Oh, they'll be in some books. They'll be in criminology books and things like that. You know.
Fucking morons.
All right. Speaking of moronic behavior, CD Projekt Red had a public apology for the we'll just say underachieving release of Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit before, but they what was his name? Marcus. I'm trying to find this article.
Marcus Iwinski. Marcin Iwinski.
Marcin Iwinski released a video apologizing, supposedly owning up, and documenting basically a roadmap of progress where
our commitment to quality,
how long it's going to be before certain things and certain updates come out to improve the Cyberpunk experience. But people have not taken too kindly to it because it still seems like there's some shifting of blame or just things that don't seem quite right being said.
It's insane.
Yeah, the main thing is he said that many of the problems that were documented after the game came out were missed by their testing processes. And I look at this as it's one of two things. I think it's probably both things. It's throwing your QA team under the bus because you can say it was missed by testing. And I think it's also a flat out lie because I just don't think that you miss that many egregious errors in bugs. You can't possibly miss as many problems as this game had. At this point, I would be much happier if they came out and they can't, but they need to. I feel like there are people who would be happier if they came out and said, yes, we released it knowing it was full of problems. We tried to fleece you.
I think you go to jail though, potentially, or some sort of fraud or SEC
right, they
thing.
Can't,
you can't do that.
That's
the shareholders would hang them if they did that.
I just feel like this is like the second or third attempt of them to try to own up to it, but they're not ever really owning up to the main problem.
Well, they admit that they just developed it ass backwards. They said that we want to develop it for like a PC that can run this thing clean and perfect.
Right.
And then realized we were in over our heads. We all said that when it came out. That's basically what happened. They developed it for something a lot stronger than what people could play it on. You don't develop games that way if you want to sell them on a system. Like, this is common sense. Well, you don't do that shit. There's ways. Rockstar's released their big GTA games on two different consoles. Didn't have these problems, But they are, I guess, a better company that knows that this shit can happen. You develop for the minimum first, and then you build out. But from what I hear,
for instance, GTA 5 was released on the 360 and PS3 first, and then they did PS4 versions, but they did those versions afterwards.
Yeah, there's ways to do this.
They didn't try to develop that version first and then put the game out on a older system. And there's still a lot of talk in the apology about getting it to run on last gen hardware. This game was supposed to come out before
because
you delayed it twice and it came out after the new gen hardware came out, doesn't mean that you were suddenly making a new gen game. You were developing this the whole time for PS4, Xbox One, and PCs.
Streaming is responsible for feeding the engine with what you see on screen. I like him breaking it down and dumbing it down for everyone, which because most people don't give a shit about this. I want a game that runs. I don't need to know how it develops. But he said streaming is responsible for feeding the engine what you see on a screen, as well as the game mechanics. And since the city is so packed, it's so dense and the disk bandwidth of old gens is what it is. It constantly challenged us. Every change and improvement needed to be tested, and as it turned out, our testing did not show a big part of the issues the experience of playing. This is bullshit. You had the dev kits for these consoles for close to 10 years. You had the PS4 dev kit. You knew there were problems leading up to this. They just got in over their heads on it. And at that point, they're just like, well, the engine's fucked probably. We can't reverse it. We'd have to probably redo the game from the source code from the ground up. That's what I think. So they're fucked. They were fucked. That's it.
Yeah, it would have taken... I think the delay we would have been looking at for them to truly fix it would have been another couple of years. They would have had to have taken so much stuff down to the supports.
Yeah. Strip it down to the fucking, to the bare structure.
The bedrock.
To the bedrock. That's basically what's going on here. They did it ass backwards.
But, yeah.
And then they talked about what happened with the PC review keys, blah, blah, blah. Well, not perfect. It's a version of Cyberpunk we're very proud of. Well, that's good, because you can't be proud of anything else. So one out of the 5 versions you can be super proud of or close to proud of. Well, not even 5 versions. There's one version, basically. Well, there's a console version and a PC version. It comes down to it. It brings up the COVID. Fuck. Can we stop with people blaming COVID? Fucking stop it. So many businesses got their shit out with COVID happening last year and still happening. We had these Microsoft and Sony got their consoles out. Other companies got out hardware and got out software. Stop fucking using COVID as an excuse. I'm fucking over it. I'm over it. Stop. A lot of companies figured this shit out. Fucking stop it.
I feel like COVID is a valid excuse, but a lot of the times that it's being invoked, it's obviously an easy cover for other problems that already existed.
A lot of the dynamics we normally take for granted got lost over video calls or email. So they're basically saying that we couldn't communicate because fuck you. Really? You can't do video calls and be, hey, look, the graphics aren't popping in for 30 seconds. Like, you need to be in person to go over this shit? You gotta be kidding me. Come on. This is bullshit. It's ridiculous. You don't know your game's broken because of COVID?
Did you play your game?
The game's been in development for fucking 8 years. And COVID has only been around the past year. It was fucked a year ago, before COVID. It was fucked.
It's been fucked, yes.
It was fucked before COVID. COVID didn't make it fucked. Didn't help, but it was fucked. I'm getting angry. This could have been a full topic, because this is ridiculous now, this apology.
Yeah, no, it's...
What are their plans? Continue to work on game future updates and improvements? Yeah, good luck. And then in long term, our plans did not change, because they still do the multiplayer shit eventually. Free DLCs, blah, 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 whatever.
I didn't even know there was supposed to be multiplayer.
Well, have fun figuring that out when the game's a mess on consoles. For those of you playing on next gen, there's a free next gen update for those on the... okay, that's good. Because, hey, I got to buy a new console to play the fucking game. Because I can't play it on my PS4. You're basically forced to buy a new... So that's good, at least. You don't have to rebuy the game that should have worked.
Great.
Hey, you can still play that game if you shell out $600 for a new console. Woo! Wow, that was worse than I thought. After I actually read the details, I was like, "Wow, he's bringing up COVID, saying, oh, we couldn't communicate this stuff with video calls and phone. Like, what are you signing it out in person? You can't. What do you mean you can't communicate? What is this shit?
Signing it out in person.
Like, what do you? That's ridiculous.
Yep.
It was bad from the get go. How do you say we're going to develop this for the highest platform, the best experience possible, and then, well, is it going to work on the 7-year-old technology? We don't know. But once you get there, you know it doesn't, and then you're fucked. It's ridiculous. You know what's great though? That means I should talk about something else. The GoldenEye Mario 64 mod is incredible.
Yeah, it's neat. We've talked a little bit about it before because it's one of the more popular ones to get put onto repro carts and sold. But this came up in the news again because they just recently put in a custom level that looks like Peach's Castle, which is pretty cool. The mod changes all the characters to various Mario characters. It looks like it puts Koopas and other enemies in there, and it's
adorable and cute because they still sound
very cute.
It's Koopas carrying machine guns,
right,
firing at you. But when you shoot it, they still have a death animation from GoldenEye. They still like flail around and fall down. You almost don't want to shoot them anymore.
Oh yeah, because they're basically just applying these new models to the skeletons that already existed, the riggings that are already there. So yeah, they're gonna have the same funny animations and all that. But yeah, it looks really. I don't know. Looks really fun.
Mario's ultimate objective is to still defeat Bowser, facing him shortly after each big star door. After leaving a trail of bodies and tracking down the legendary golden gun, Mario one-shots the Koopa King, completing the mission. I guess that's from the gameplay video. Oh, man. That's hysterical.
Yeah.
You gotta love this stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
Is there gonna be an NBA Jam movie, Ian?
Yes. So, NBA Jam has been in the news a lot this year. There was the arcade 1-up 4-player cabinet, and Ray and Ollie's book NBA Jam from Boss Fight Books came out, and it's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic, and it's now being turned into a major motion picture.
A major motion picture release.
It's being turned into a documentary.
A motion picture.
And I'm really excited to see that. I think, especially if they get some good interviews, the stories that are in the book are incredible. And if any of those can be translated, to video with the actual athletes or the people who worked at Midway, which I'm sure they will, I think this is going to be a very, very good documentary. It's going to be one of those ones that I bet could fill an hour and a half, and it's going to feel like it was 45 minutes long to watch it. That's kind of how I felt when I was reading the book. It was just very good writing, very interesting writing. One of those books that just goes by real fast when you're reading it because you're having such a good time. And yeah, I think it's going to be a real breezy documentary. I can't wait for this.
According to this article from Variety, earned more than $1 billion in quarters. $1 billion.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's wild. So I think we've got the book. We've got a documentary coming.
Spaceballs the movie. Spaceballs the coloring book.
We've got the arcade 1-up cabinet. All we need now is a new fucking entry in the series.
Well, what was the last one? Almost 10 years ago?
I think 2010 was when the Xbox Live Arcade and On Fire editions came out.
Which wasn't terrible.
No, it was fun.
I liked it. It was a little bit not too technical in the gameplay. They added some little more dribbling stuff and things like that. But it was fun. It had the spirit there. But I think I think people want to see like a sprite-based like version of this. They want to see something like the original, but just updated.
I don't think they'll necessarily get a sprite-based version. That would be great if they did. But yeah, I think there must be some sort of licensing issues because NBA, I'm sorry,
Does
2K
Acclaim still have it?
No, 2K. Yeah, I think Acclaim's still. Well, no, Acclaim's gone. I don't know who has that. EA had the.
Oh, that's right. It was EA.
I believe EA had it.
NBA Jam trademark. Who has the fucking trademark?
2K currently puts out NBA Playgrounds.
NBA Properties owns the NBA Jam trademark, so they got to license the trademark from the NBA, but then just make their own game, I guess, and get their sign off. Interesting.
Yeah, 2K does a series called NBA 2K Playgrounds, and I enjoy it for what it is, but it doesn't grab me the same way that Jam does. It's a little too focused on stats and collecting characters from packs of cards. So yeah. If you want to put your team together, you got to get the cards and then
just update NBA Hang Time. Just update that with fresh rosters.
That would be fine. Yes,
and we're good. That was the peak. I don't even like the double alley-oop. I hate that, but everything else in that game is fantastic. The technical nature of hang time is perfect for the amount of things you can do. Like, that's where it should end. You can do floaters, you can do fadeaways. The blocking mechanic is fantastic in hang time because it's based on timing. So do a game like that, which is what the new NBA Jam was kind of like. Like, it was closer to that.
Yeah.
It was fine. Anyway. You know you can pump your quarters into? You can pump them into ultimatenintendo.com. Virtually, you can check out certain guidebooks there. You can get the...
Don't actually put any quarters in your
Not into your computer, no.
No, that'd be bad.
Don't do that. But you can check out the CU Podcast enamel pin. We got the limited t-shirt. We got the My Man t-shirt on sale for $14.99, and my DVDs and not for resale Blu-rays and other stuff. Go to ultimatenintendo.com. I'm also going to be on Twitch Wednesday night. Every Wednesday night for the most part it's turned into, where I watch 80s commercials. And I've been doing it for like 10 months straight somehow, almost. 9 months straight. It's been fun. I'm also on Cameo, cameo.com/PatCountry. That's my plugs there, Ian.
Good.
Nice. Ian's going to be in his kitchen.
Nice plugs.
Making some stocks.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some stocks this week. Gonna make some dashi.
You should stream you cooking. I think people would tune in for that. They would.
I just don't like being on camera.
You picked the wrong profession. Ian.
I know. 7 years into it, I'm still not used to it.
7.5 years almost.
7.5.
And we're not even counting your awesome debut in the Caltron 6-in-1 video.
No,
it seems like it was over 10 years ago. Well, that happened. You believe that?
That was over a decade ago.
That was end of 2000. Was that 2011 or 10? Was that right after I moved here? Or was it 2011 after I got my hooks into you? I forget. I'll look that up. Talk about Pokemon, Ian, while I look that up.
Pokemon Snap. So it's this year is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, and while I'm personally not aware of everything that they're doing to celebrate the 25th anniversary, they did release a new Pokemon Snap trailer just the other day. So for those who might not know what Pokemon Snap is...
It was over 10 years ago. It was December 18, 2010. Caltron.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
For those who don't know what Pokemon Snap is, it's a spin-off game in the Pokemon franchise where you sit in like a little car and the car takes you around various nature zones, like a safari.
It's like an on-rails experience.
Yeah. You start and it drives you through the area. Usually takes a few minutes to get through each level, and you have 360-degree rotation, and basically you take pictures of the Pokemon going about their daily lives. You can catch them playing, you can catch them fighting, you can throw apples or smoke bombs at them to get them to interact with you in different ways.
Smoke bombs, really?
Yeah, later on in the game.
So that's not healthy for them.
And it's a really relaxing, fun take on Pokemon that I kind of like that more than the standard Pokemon battling. I like Pokemon as a franchise. I like the concept of Pokemon. I love I think all the critters are super duper cute. But the constant battling, I feel like it's more fun when you're just existing with the creatures in nature than, I don't know, dogfighting them. And like I said, I don't get the games.
I don't get Pokemon. I don't get it.
I love them.
I don't get. I understand why people like these characters. I don't get the battling part. Maybe that's like, I don't understand. We're gonna have these cute colored creatures fight each other to the death, like, or not, like
till they're unconscious.
You're basically becoming dog fight. It's a dog fighting ring at this point with cute characters. You get that, people? That's what Pokemon is. You're forcing these animals to fight each other. Like, that's what you're doing. And I just never got into that aspect. Now that I'm really analyzing, it's kind of sick when I think about it, in a way. It's kind of sick.
I got past it, but it does creep up every time.
There's some moral questions that are raised. There's some ethical questions that are raised.
If you just take it at its face value, at this bright, happy sheen, it's okay. But yeah, if you think a little deep, it gets a little weird.
Let's put it this way. If you try this in real life with creatures, you'd be arrested on the spot.
You would be.
You would be arrested. But in this world, it's allowed, which is why I kind of like the movie. They kind of shied away from that aspect of it, right? It was more just hanging out in the same world with these creatures.
Oh, geez, I don't remember the first movie. It's been a long time since I saw it.
I saw it on the plane. It was good. And the only time they fight
Oh, you're
in battle,
talking about Detective Pikachu.
yeah, the Pikachu.
Yeah, that wasn't so much focused on battling.
It was more like, oh, we hang out with these weird ass creatures
like,
somehow, but there's still regular animals as well, which is weird. And then there was the one fight scene, I think, like when they actually went into the underground fighting stadium thing.
Yeah.
So like that made sense, but that's like illegal shit. Like that's not gonna be. You shouldn't be selling tickets, to Shea Stadium to watch Pokemon's fight. Rest in peace, Shea Stadium. You know what I mean? Anyways, this is the point. That always freaked me out, but I always liked Pokemon Snap on the 64. I always liked that game. I always did. I just enjoyed it. I was like, it's like bird watching, or you're going to the zoo, or you're going on a safari. I mean, how cool is it to watch animals in their natural environment?
Yeah.
Not kick the shit out of each other. So your pleasure.
It's a genius idea. I always wanted a sequel. When we didn't get one on the GameCube, I wasn't super surprised. But then when we got to the Wii and we didn't get one, I was starting to be like, are they ever going to bring it back? Because the Wii with the motion seemed like a pretty good system to bring it back on. You could point the remote at the screen, take the pictures that way. Nintendo loved to work the motion controls into anything they could. That game would have been real easy to apply the motion controls to. And then, I know we've talked about it on here before, but the Wii U would have been fucking perfect for it.
It's on a tee for you, Nintendo. Just swing away. Like, that's the game to make. And you didn't do it.
I mean, your controller is
the camera. You're looking around.
Viewfinder, look around.
That's the one game that would have been a success on the Wii U.
So when they didn't put it on the Wii U, I honestly, at that point, I wrote the franchise off. I was like, okay, if they're not going to make it for the most obvious system,
they might have said, well, this system sucks. We might as well not do it. Maybe they started developing.
Yeah, maybe they saw the writing on the wall.
We'll just put it in the corner in the closet for now.
That's something that might come out later. Maybe we will see that they were working on one. But after 3 systems without a sequel, I was beginning to think that we were never going to see it again. Because that's longer than F-Zero. F-Zero at least had a release on the GameCube.
But it's not like a game that requires like 10 years of time to do. This isn't like an intensive RPG system. You're taking pictures of animals. Like that's what it's adorable. Mm-hmm. You're just gliding through environments. Like I'm sure this version is going to beef up that experience over the original, but come on, you can play one of these games out every 2 years if you want, 2-3 years. I thought it was funny that the comments went. Now, one of the reasons that I'm turned off a little bit is because all the whining about Pokemon Sword and Shield that happened last year. And I saw it now connected to this, where it's like, why does this look better than the animations look better than Pokemon Sword and Shield? It's an entirely different game. That's why there's less animations you probably need for this than a fighting game. Well,
there weren't a lot of animations in Sword and Shield,
but with several hundred characters, you had to fucking deal with attacks and shit. But it's like, can you just appreciate this game's coming out and it looks great?
There were valid complaints to be had about Sword and Shield, but it's over. The negativity in the Pokemon fan scene is really, really trying.
I didn't know it was there until that shit, like kerfuffle last year. I was like, this is what you're talking about, animals fighting each other, which is unethical. So
now anytime something comes out Pokemon, there's always going to be people who complain. I thought that it was odd that people were complaining about it looking too good.
Oh, yeah, so they said, oh, it looks good. The other game doesn't look... Well, be happy this game looks good.
The other game is out and it's behind us now, so let's focus on what we're about to get.
If you're a Pokemon fan, you're fed a lot of shit to play with an experience. Like, you're not really dying for content as a Pokemon fan,
Anyways, different character this time around. It looks like the old character, I think his name was Todd, might be the professor this time? Todd.
Oh, so the kid is now the professor?
Maybe that's what I was.
They actually have like a time frame, like in Star Wars movies with prequels.
There's a time frame.
So that means the original guy with the cap, Ash, is he like 90 years old by now, or 60?
Ash is not in Pokemon Snap.
But I mean, if there's a timeline for this, is there a timeline for the regular Pokemon games?
No. Ash is eternally, I don't know,
it's 15 or the 15, fuck he is.
Yeah, I think he got slightly older, but he certainly has not aged.
He went up like 3 years and 20 years, like the South Park kids.
Yeah, exactly. So this looks to be about the same. The trailer was great. It's going to be a shame to not be able to go to Blockbuster and print out our stickers, though. That was one thing that you could do with the original game, was you could save pictures to a memory card and take it to a photo booth at Blockbuster, and they would print out those little photo stickers.
I never saw that someone do that even.
Oh, really?
No.
Every once in a while we see them.
Right.
We see them on Pokemon Snap game cases. A lot of people, it seemed, got the stickers printed out, had no idea what to put them on, so they stuck them on top of their label. So a lot of times we get Pokemon Snap cartridges that have those little stickers printed out.
I want to find one of those machines. I know that one of the one big reseller at Englishtown Flea Market had one in the inside section. Come across them and actually try to still see if some are still usable. That'd be great to try.
They are. There are people out there who have them. I can't imagine how much they cost, but that would be a really cool thing.
Nowadays, I don't know. A crazy Pokemon fan would spend a ton of money on that probably.
So, anyways, I'm very excited about this. It comes out in April. People are wondering if it'll be worth the $60. I think it'll be worth $60.
Are you gonna have fun playing it?
Yeah.
You're gonna, it'll be what? It's probably not gonna be like a 30-hour experience, but come on.
No, the first game is really short. I would like it to have a bit more to do than the original game did, but I'm happy with a sequel that looks more or less the same as the original.
Hey,
I liked it. I want more of it.
And with Nintendo now in the mix here, they'll be like, all right, Pokemon Company, why don't we do a little free DLC down the line? Let people know there's like an extra stage or something happening.
I have a feeling that there will be DLC support for this.
Lucasfilm Games is officially back in name. Lucasfilm Games, the original sort of name for all the, Lucasfilm properties, which was really like three. When you think about it, was Star Wars stuff, Indiana Jones, and I guess maybe Willow was thrown in the mix. I think a little bit, but that's about it. But I might be missing one or two. But now the big news is that Star Wars games, they're bringing back the name Lucasfilm Games, which became LucasArts in the early 90s. Star Wars games are no longer exclusive to EA. That's the big news. Going forward, it's going to be like how it was, back in the day in the 90s, where people brought the rights to the game and then they put them here and there. And they did their own stuff, but they also farmed them out little things and not just have one company control it. So this is good news. And they announced an open world game that Ubisoft announced an open world game that they're going to be working on, which is funny because remember all the backlash started when they canceled the open world game that EA was doing, a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, they just canceled it out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then there was all the outrage, and then they were like, okay, no, we are going to do a single player game, but it ended up being Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
Basically Star Wars Dark Souls.
Star Wars Dark Souls. Is
that's what the game is like, apparently. I've never played it.
So Disney, it was just Disney controlling this shit. Disney probably saw that and said, this is no bueno. So they probably at that time was like, okay, we got to get this away from just EA. It doesn't make any sense to have one company control all the game properties to everything we do. That's insane. That's insane to have that. It's so much money at stake. So, it's a good idea. There was also the little teaser. They're doing an Indiana Jones game, which is great because there has been an Indiana Jones game in quite a bit, I think. If you don't count like the Lego shit, which I don't.
I think you could count the Lego stuff, but even that takes it pretty far back. That was 360. And then before that, I think if you want to just say a standard Lego entry or non-Lego entry, I think Xbox, PS2.
Let's see.
Tomb of Kings or something like that.
I don't count the Facebook Indiana Jones Adventure World on here. Before Lego or before the BlackBerry mobile phone one, the last one was Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings, which was Wii, DS, PSP, PS2. So we're talking over 10 years ago. This is a game. This is an adventure game series that you can play out these games every probably 3-4 years, and there'll be a market for it. You don't have to go 15 years between them. Yeah, not a lot of. Once you get past the 90s, early 2000s, there's nothing. You had the Emperor's Tomb one, the Infernal Machine one, on the N64 and on PC. Then of course you had Fate of Atlantis, which everyone played that game at some point. Back in the early 90s.
That's the point and click.
Point and click one, yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple. There was a Last Crusade point and click one too, wasn't there?
There was a shitty computer NES one. I don't know if there was a point and click one. The Graphic Adventure. There was one. I'm not familiar with that.
I played that one.
Can't be worse.
No, it's very good. It's very good.
Okay, now I recognize the cover with him and Sean Connery. Okay, I might actually own that somewhere. I don't know. I got to go through my PC games what I own. Okay. Oh yeah, it's the same kind of graphic style as Fate of Atlantis, kind of. Yeah, same sort of interface too. Yeah, those are fun games. I'm not into the LucasArts adventure games as much as the Sierra ones, but they're still fun to play. They're still fun. So
My opinion on that has changed so much over the years.
you like LucasArts one's better?
Flips back and forth all the time. Growing up, I was definitely more of a Sierra fan than like when I was younger. Then in high school, I got really into the LucasArts ones. Then in like the mid 2000s, I went back and replayed a bunch of them with FAQs, and I really liked the structure of the Sierra ones. But I think overall, the LucasArts ones are certainly more fair.
Okay. What I like about the LucasArts ones is that they don't have those unwinnable scenario shit that happens.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're more fair. There's less deaths and dead ends to be had in the LucasArts ones.
But I also don't like a lot of. I don't know how many of these do it. I never played through Day of the Tentacle. I played through Fate of Atlantis. I don't remember a thing about it though.
I love that.
I don't like the single environment puzzle shit. I think LucasArts games tend to lean on that a little bit too much, where all the shit you get in this environment is used in this environment, and that's it. Then you move on, and I don't like that as much. It's a little too simplistic. Maybe looking back, that would have been better when I was younger, but I prefer the Sierra. Get an object, you don't know what it's used for, then you use it later. It's just, I don't know, it's just the way the narrative goes, I just like a little bit better. But maybe there's some LucasArts games, I don't remember.
I was going to say Sam & Max doesn't follow that.
It doesn't, but I remember Fate of Atlantis doing stuff like that more. But again, that would make sense if you're finding the artifacts in their environment.
Yeah.
I can't remember Full Throttle, what the hell Full Throttle did.
I fucking love Full Throttle.
I love it, but I don't remember a thing about the game. I borrowed it from my friend in high school, my bio partner in high school, who also gave me the Doom 2 pirated version of Doom 2.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is good news. It's good. You don't want all your IP under one gigantic company doing this shit. You want different flavors. You want different teams of talent working on shit.
Yeah, I don't love Ubisoft, but it'll be nice to see what someone else will do with the property.
Can we have the open world game where you're not a fucking Jedi? Can I just put that in request? Can I just be a fucking traitor or a mercenary, or have me choose? That's why I never played the original MMORPG of Star Wars, because everyone wanted to become a fucking Jedi, and it ruined the game from what I hear. They made it easier to become a Jedi, and everyone was a fucking Jedi running around. That's really realistic. Everyone's a fucking knight running around your town. Fuck off. Come on. Sorry. I'm getting too angry about this stuff. You want to talk about GameStop, Mad Money?
Yeah, I mean, what do you got to say on the GameStop?
Oh, what do I got to say?
What do you got to say?
You added the topic. Okay. So GameStop leaders, this is a Yahoo Finance article. You always go to Yahoo for your finance news. Yahoo's hanging in there. You gotta give, I don't know, they've gone through so many changes and ups and downs. So GameStop had a record week of on their stock. It like doubled in price over the past week, from like $20 to like $40, I guess. And then the news is, what the hell's going on? That Chewy co-founder Ryan Cohn, which we brought up a few months ago, was added to the board officially. So I thought that's what's happening. But it turns out that the price could have been from people inside the company dumping their stock, and that helped raise the price because other people are buying it. I don't know. I'm not into this shit. But at least two company insiders sold more than $2.6 million worth of stock on January 13th. Because this stuff has to be reported if it's a public company and you think you're part of the company. You have to report these stock sales.
Right.
It was sold after the record gains. Okay, after the record gains. And so they basically, when this happens, they know the writing's on the wall that this is going to take a header.
Yeah,
at some point.
This is kind of like the sure sign that it's the writing's on the wall. Things are going south, and this is their last chance.
This is the peak of GameStop, I will say. Like, this was the peak.
This is their last chance to get money out of those stocks.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. I wish I knew more about this, but
who's driving the price up? Because the guy from Chewy is on the board now. Do you see the environment, what's happening with physical and digital sales and a pandemic? Like, none of this is gearing towards a good GameStop future. None of this.
Yeah. This isn't happening naturally because GameStop suddenly found its fucking niche. They're more useless than they've ever been.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Beware, I guess.
I don't know. Like I've seen more and more stuff about investing. Like, I brought this up last week about, or the more months about younger people and investing and stocks and shit. And you got to be careful. It's not a game, this stuff. I mean, where the hell is Bitcoin at? That just took a tumble again. It's probably back up. It's nuts how much Bitcoin goes up and down. Let's see, it peaked, now it's back down. It lost 5,000, 30. Like, it's just insane. You got to be super careful.
I feel like every other week someone's talking about a Bitcoin crash, or every other week someone's talking about Bitcoin's making them rich. Yeah, like that does not seem stable or normal or healthy.
No, it's the exact opposite of stability. That's why it's never going to be a currency, because you need a currency not to wildly shift in value every day. You can't use that as a currency at that point. You might as well be trading loaves of bread to each other. I'm hungry. All right, is that it for the intro here?
That's it for the intro.